everybody, and welcome back to the Monkey and Big Show, the only podcast that updates weekly. I'm your host, Monkey Jones, joined as always by...
Latesington.
Latesington. Now, Biggs, we've been off the air for a little bit, and a lot of people are dying to know. What was your reaction in chapter 984 of One Piece when it was revealed that Yamato, Kaido's son, is actually Kaido's daughter who idolizes Odin and wants to help Luffy defeat Kaido?
I was like, whoa, dude.
How much of that do you think I made up?
And then
do you think any of it is true?
Knowing One Piece, it's probably all true.
Well, yeah, they stole Yamato straight from Naruto. Biggs, welcome back to the Monkey and Big Show. I'm so excited to be here. We had a few snafus that stopped us from updating for, I'd say, about a month?
Sure feels like it.
And I would say it is completely my fault. Let me give you guys the deets of why you haven't seen us in your feeds. That almost rhymed, but not quite.
In their Sneeds feeds.
In their feets. You ever go to wikifeet.com?
No.
I think I have. They made a profile for me on there. There's pictures of my feet and people can rate them. Maybe
Great.
We should, you know how we did that big guy, little guy, like little video? We should do one of us looking at my WikiFeet page one day. But if you're thinking, oh, Monkey and Biggs, they haven't posted anything because they're so lazy. Well, it's only half true. We did about 3 weeks ago record a new episode of Snack Testers and the premiere pilot episode, folks, of TV Testers. People been hoping and praying it would drop soon. We filmed a whole video about the worst episode of Cory in the House. It was a goof and a gander, a holler and a squalor.
Oh boy, that was a good one.
It's such a good video, dude. It might be the funniest thing we've ever recorded ever. I'm not even being sarcastic. The funniest thing by far. And anybody who doesn't end up seeing it, I pity the fool. To quote Barack Hussein Obama, I pity.
That was Barack.
Oh, I mean, they all look presidents all look the same to me, so could have been any of them.
Fair.
But my point is, when I went into the editing bay, I found that the audio was corrupted and the video's dead.
Well, oh man.
So Biggs and I spent a weekend just filming videos nonstop, only to discover that the audio was fucked on all of them. And it's my fault. I thought that having the ceiling fan on, the silent ceiling fan, it wasn't making any noise. I thought, we don't want to burn up. We're filming this in June, and I'm wearing my fucking sweatpants and sweatshirt because that's my stupid costume for these tester shows. I don't want to burn up 5 million degrees, praying on my knees just to get a little breeze. As who should I pretend is Andy Milonakis? Let's see, who looks really young? Who cares? My point is, the fan was just blowing into the boom mic the entire time. So the whole video, all you can hear is... And you can barely hear me and Biggs, who are sitting right in front of the microphone. You can barely hear us discussing Cory in the House.
It's like Hurricane Katrina up in there?
Yeah, from a ceiling fan that makes no noise and is on the lowest setting. It fucked our entire video. We spent a whole hour sitting on the couch watching Cory in the House and talking about it for nothing. And then right after that, I get a throat infection and I can't talk for like 10 days. So everything was just on hiatus at that point. There's not much we could do. I can't talk. I'm sick. It wasn't Corona, thankfully. And all the stuff we filmed was corrupted, which was pretty demoralizing. So that's why you haven't heard from us in a while.
Yeah. On my end, it was just a culmination of, well, I guess that was more so... I guess it was, you were sick, but I had also had something come up, so I wasn't gonna be able to come over one of the days, but then he ended up being sick, so I didn't get to come over at all. So it's been a great couple weeks, I'd say.
Yeah, well, we have a lot to catch up on. I know we promised this would be the Oops All Voicemails episode, but now that we haven't been here for 3 weeks, I think we have enough content that we probably will forego voicemails yet again. Maybe another week. I think it'd be fun if we just did a live stream listening to all the voicemails and just chill out for 4 hours and be miserable.
Yeah, it'd be a great way to get people to donate so we can listen to theirs.
Oh, what, like toot? Well, Biggs, do you wanna tackle your big news first, or should I give an update about my incel neighbor? Or should maybe we should save that for later to keep the people hanging.
Yeah, I was gonna say the new job isn't gonna draw out too long, I don't think. But basically, I think it was early last week. I was at home and I got a text from this place I started working at, and I had applied for them like 2 years ago.
Really?
When I applied for my last job that I had. And they're like, hey, we got a position open. We were wondering if by chance you were still
The previous
interested.
guy just died of corona.
We're wondering if you're interested. We still have your application in the email or whatever. If you're still interested, give us a call and we'll set up an interview. So I call them. I end up setting an interview for the next day. So I think that was like last Wednesday. And they had to wait for a background check. So then I get a call on Tuesday. They're like, hey, you need to go in for a drug test.
Well, bad news. How did you pass that?
Because I haven't done any drugs.
We just smoked weed like a month ago.
So, that was a month ago.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it was a drug test and then like a physical and some other...
How the fuck did you pass the physical? I think these tests might be... There might be a problem. If you're passing drug tests and physicals, I think there might be an issue with the test.
Have you ever had to have a physical in your life? That's not what you think it is.
Is that when the doctor they squeeze your balls while your mom's in the room and you're like, Mom, you don't need to be in here when the old lady's squeezing my testes, dude?
Yeah, that and then like an eye test and some other stuff.
Did you get the cough test? The ball squeeze cough?
Yeah, but I was going to get there.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, I was going to skip over and then come back. So I do that and literally get a call like an hour after I leave the place from doing the drug test. They're like, hey, everything came back. You should come in, fill out some paperwork, and you're starting tomorrow.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, great.
I better call my other job and say I quit.
Well, the thing is, I still hadn't gone back to the other job yet. So basically on Monday, I'm just going to go in and say, hey, by the way, I'm done.
Why would you have to go in for that? Why don't you just call his ass right now live on air?
Because I have stuff there. And they're the type of scum that would do something to my stuff if I left it there.
Biggs, I know you're a big fan of Nostalgia Critic, Doug Walker.
I know you have some really fulfilling content, but I need
it has to go in right now. We were talking about you quitting your job. It'll be very brief. Okay. I'm just saying, about 12
Don't talk about my briefs on air.
About 12 years ago, when Doug Walker, he was becoming famous on the internet, so he decided to quit his job, and he filmed the cringiest video of all time, where his friend just follows him into his workplace filming, and Doug like stands up on a chair in front of all his coworkers and rips open his shirt, and on his chest he painted "I quit," and he posted this video online. We should reenact it with you quitting your job on Monday, and we'll paint "I quit" on your great canvas. And we'll give the people a show. What do you think? You can be just like your idol, Nostalgia Critic.
I think we might get demonetized.
Well, what's the worst that could happen? If Grade A Underrated can survive it, so can we.
Anyways, so now I'm gonna go back. So when I go
to the future,
when I go in for the physical, I'm sitting there.
How did you pass that?
And like I do the drug test, right? It's a normal pee in a cup. They like put a swab thing on it. And it shows colors, and if it comes back certain colors, it means you've done drugs of whatever kind. So it comes back clean. They take me over. They do an eye test. I have to read this really small text. You had to take the eye
TEDs again? Oh my! The Iowa Test of Educational Development. That's no fun.
So I had to read it back and forth like 3 times, covering eyes and whatnot, and then I had to do a hearing test. And finally, I knew it was coming. The part...
Okay, how did you pass a hearing test? Because I talk all the time and you don't hear anything I fucking say.
Well, the thing is, they're like, okay, it's going to be a hearing test. Cover your left ear and turn away from me. I'm going to whisper something, you have to say it back. And then they would just slightly...
Did you whisper, I love you?
They'd slightly lower their voice. Green, blue. But it was like this close, like how far apart we are. And it's like,
were they wearing a Corona mask, or are they just getting it right up in your face?
Yeah, they were wearing a mask, but it's like, oh man, that was so hard. Man, I guarantee you, if somebody like an older person that has hearing problems could probably still pass that test and then go crash because they didn't hear an ambulance or something.
Well, you said crash. Have you even revealed what this job is yet to the people?
Not yet. I'm still getting there.
Oh, it's a big build-up?
Actually, I revealed it on Snapchat, but anyways. So they come in, they're like, here, put on these like throwaway blue shorts. And I was like, oh boy, here it comes.
Did they have your size?
The best part. Well, they were like big stretchy shorts, basically.
So yeah, your size. Big and stretchy.
Yeah. So I put them on and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, what doctor is going to walk through that door that's going to have to see my junk?
Oh no.
And the next thing I know, I hear the door handle turn. I'm like, oh, door opens. Oh, a very, very tall, very muscular black man walks in. He's like,
uh-oh. I hope you didn't tell him what job you just got. You would have squeezed those fucking balls off.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to need you to drop your shorts. And I'm like, already? And then, yeah.
How do you know it wasn't just some guy who wandered into the hospital?
Because he had a hospital gown.
Oh, okay.
Or not like
a gown? That was just a patient, dude.
Not a gown. I mean, like scrubs. He had like scrubs on and like a doctor, like coat or whatever with, his little name tag and whatnot. But anyways.
Was his name Dr. White? Maybe he stole it from somebody.
No, it was Doc Brown.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so anyways, the job is pretty cool. It's basically I drive around an armored truck. We deliver cash to like banks and stores and stuff, and we also pick up their deposits and whatnot. But yeah, I'm literally just the driver. My job is literally just to drive the truck around, and then the other people get out and like do all the lifting and stuff.
I've always envisioned you being like in a bouncer kind of role, so I think driving an armored truck is right up your alley. Because if somebody's gonna try to rob the thing and they see you, they go, well,
yeah,
I don't know if there's much I can do.
Here's the thing: I get to carry my own gun on me too.
Oh, they don't give you a gun? You got to bring in your fucking AK?
Well, no, they would give me one, but I'm like, dude, if I can use my own, I'm gonna use my own.
What's your gun that you're using on the job?
It's a Walther PPQ M2 9mm.
So on Call of Duty, which one do I click on? The Renetti? What is it?
I guess the Renetti would be kind of the closest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got 15 shots in it plus the one in the chamber. So if somebody's gonna try and rob, they better hope they can get it done before I get those off.
And if they have a gun too, I mean, they're gonna have to get 8 bullets in you to stop you. You're gonna take them down with 1, I imagine.
And then the guy I ride with, he's got like a huge revolver that he carries. So yeah, it's a pretty neat job.
That sounds like your dream job. You get to carry a gun and you have a license to shoot if somebody tries to fuck with you.
And I get to drive around a huge armored truck.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How much do you get paid? Do you get paid like out of the back of the truck? You just grab a couple of wads of cash on your way home?
Whatever bag. Like I have to close my eyes and go in circles, and then whatever bag I reach
out and grab. It's like the Punch-a-Bunch game on The Price is Right.
I pick up a bag and it's like a bunch of blank paper with $1 bill.
Yeah, it's like, well, you can go again, or you can keep your $1. You get 3 more chances, but you got to keep the last one you pick.
Yeah, and like it's kind of crazy because I've never seen like that amount of money in one spot before.
And you're driving it around?
Yeah, I think today we had like $3 million on the truck. And like it's just in huge bags. I'm just like, dude, this is pretty neat. But then I'm thinking like, if somebody really wanted this, they're not going to question whether they're going to kill me or not.
True, yeah.
So,
I don't know how you'd rob an armored truck, because how would you even open it? Let's say they kill everybody somehow. How do they even open the back of the truck? They can't.
Here's the thing. Like, no, I'm not going to say that because, no, never mind.
Okay.
Basically, if you watch them, you'll know exactly how to do it.
But don't you need, like, special tools or something? I mean, it's an armored truck.
Not if you just let them do it.
Oh, well, this is in the scenario where you're already dead. Maybe they breathe Corona in through the air conditioning.
See, I'm lucky enough to where I don't have to get out of the truck. So if something goes down and I'm outmanned, I can literally just sit in my seat and call the cops, and that's it. GG. What are you gonna do? Shoot at me? All the windows are bulletproof.
Do they let you test your gun on the car? You should shoot the truck.
Just shoot the truck.
You should be able to shoot the windshield. You gotta. If I'm driving the armored truck, I'm shooting the windshield to make sure it does not break.
Here's the thing, like, it's a normal windshield, and then they have like the panel behind it. So I would literally destroy the windshield.
Well, then shoot it from inside of the truck.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Why don't they have the bulletproof glass on the outside of the breakable glass? You'd think that'd, save a lot of windshield.
I don't know.
Because if somebody shoots at you, now you have to drive around with fucking spiderweb glass all over your face.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. Like, yeah. Well, hopefully it never comes to that. But my route is like all outside of Des Moines, and the small towns I go to. If something like that were to happen, it would be definitely like planned out.
I'm curious, how? So you're moving $3 million from one place to another. From where to where? From where to a bank? From one bank to another, or what?
No. So what my company does is they're like a security service that will go pick up the money from the store. They store it in their vault, and then all at once they'll go and take all the money and deposit it for every company to a bank. Okay.
So you're like the company, or like a business like McDonald's will say, "Hey, we want to move all of the money in our safe to the bank. Biggs, come pick it up."
Yeah. Yep. And then what we do is we go and pick it up, and there's like paperwork that they fill out, and it's got to be all counted and whatnot. Take it back to the safe. We have a huge safe. We throw it in there, and then I'm not sure how often they take it to the bank, but they go in and clear it all out, throw it on trucks, and send it to the bank. And the same thing with banks. They're like withdrawing money for companies, and they'll give it to us, so we go pick it up from the bank, take it to our vault, and then disperse
so
it.
Your ass will be like, you'll transfer $3 million to the bank, and they'll say, "Thanks. Hey, can you take this $3 million to a different company?"
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically.
Don't even have to take it out of the truck at that point.
That's what happened yesterday. So yesterday we go to a bank, and we had to deposit. It was like $600 and some thousand, right? And so we dropped that off, and at the same time we picked up like 800 and some thousand for somebody else.
Well, shit.
So we had to offload it all and then reload it all. And I mean, I didn't have to do it, but still.
But how does it feel for the first time ever, Biggs, to have some responsibility? All your other jobs were fucking garbage that any teenager could do. Now you're doing something that actually matters to somebody. You're helping the oligarchs rule this country by protecting their wealth. You're keeping that wealth out of the hands of the common man. You could go full Robin Hood and liberate the masses, but no, you are a tool of the ruling class. How does it feel to have responsibility now?
It feels good.
Yeah.
Capitalism at work. I love it.
I hope
so
you're getting paid pretty well, because that sounds kind of dangerous.
Yeah. And so the other funny part of the job is I have to wear a uniform.
Uh-oh.
Now this uniform looks strikingly resembles the uniform of a police officer.
Uh-oh, that's the comedy callback to what I said about your doctor.
So yeah, after work yesterday, I go to fill up my car with gas at a Casey's.
You don't get to drive the armored truck home with you after work?
I wish.
That'd be awesome.
I would do so much stupid stuff in that. Like, hey, you need to film a video? I got an armored truck.
One of these days, I mean, if you're just sitting in the truck all day, you should at least take out your phone and Snapchat yourself in the truck, unless they don't let you do that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, when my partner dude in the truck, whenever he takes money in, I've got at least 10 minutes.
I want to see some pics of Biggs hanging out in his armored truck. Be like, yo, just rolled into the shop. What's up, fam?
So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so I'm getting gas, right? And then from across the parking lot, I just hear, "Fuck the police!" And like, I start looking around, and I look over, and there's this group of young African American males.
Maybe it was the sons of the doctor who squeezed your ballsack.
And they're all giving me the bird and laughing.
Oh.
So I simply reply, "I'm not a cop, retards." And then they like look at each other and look back at me. "Fuck you." And then pile in their car and leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay, this is great. So now there's potential I will get shot for people thinking I'm a cop.
Are you saying the real victim of the Black Lives Matter movement is you because now you're facing prejudice for your work uniform?
So I'm taking Twitter by storm and I'm reclaiming BLM because Big's life matters more.
I mean, there's literally more of you than any individual other bee, so I think your life does have to matter more just in terms of mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what do you... I mean, I assume you always have your gun on you in case anybody wants to stick it to the pigs by accident.
Oh, yeah, no. I very clearly had my gun on my side. So I assume that's why they thought I was a cop, because I had a very police-looking uniform on and a gun on my side. So...
Mm-hmm. And also, I have this police hat right here that you were wearing that has a badge on it that says cop.
In case you weren't sure.
You should wear this to work. The stupid fucking fake cop badge that's made out of plastic. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, you have any other fun tales of your new job?
Well, it's only been 2 days, so not really.
How many days until you say, fuck this, I quit?
Whenever I have to do literally anything other than drive.
Are they gonna switch it up on you, or did you just sign on for the driver?
I applied as a driver.
Well, shit, dude, you might have it made. That sounds like a pretty fun gig.
Yeah, literally driving all day, and all I have to do is drive somewhere and let someone else do the work. So...
You've been blasting Arion in the truck?
No, there's no radio.
What? Fuck that! Do they give you any benefits at all? Because I would think a radio would be a pretty good benefit of a job.
Oh, I mean, they give you, like, health insurance.
They give you health and dental and not a fucking radio. For real. Can you bring a Bluetooth speaker and blast your own shit?
Probably.
Well, there you go. I just solved your job for you.
Half of, like, honestly, sitting in complete silence for that long is great. Like, I almost
Welcome to my daily life.
I almost never just get complete silence, and half the time my partner's asleep.
What?
While I'm driving. He's just passed out. So I'm like, you know what? This is amazing.
These are only like 30-minute drives, right? His ass is falling asleep?
Sometimes when we go like from town to town, it can be like 45 minutes.
Yeah, man, I can't go 45 minutes without passing out either. I can't blame him.
I mean, he's an older dude, so...
Okay.
But yeah, like, cruising around with the AC on in a big armored truck is just relaxing, I guess.
I can imagine. Did you have to get trained to drive a big old truck like that?
No, like, before I got hired on, they're like, have you ever driven a larger vehicle before? I'm like, well, I've literally driven a whole tractor, trailer, semi.
What? When did you do that? Oh, because at your job you do that?
At my last job, yeah. And at a previous job before that. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can handle this then.
Makes sense, yeah.
So... yeah.
Well, shit. Everybody, Biggs is carrying, so if you see him on the job, don't yell, fuck the police, because he's not a police yet. Or probably ever.
Or ever.
Speaking of older guys who probably fall asleep and vast amounts of money, you want to hear an update about my neighbor?
Well, let's see. I've been waiting about 3 weeks for this news.
Yeah. Well, I wish we would have done a show the week after the previous episode, because that's when all the juicy updates started. But the spoiler alert, if you saw the title of this episode, I imagine, is that I told my neighbor the truth, Biggs. I told him to it straight up. I said, listen up, man. I was talking to my buddy about your situation with the lady down south and how you've been sending her all this money and stuff. And we were a little bit, what's the word? Curious, maybe, and I made a deal with them. I talked it out with them. Clearly, to me, it seemed as though this was something he had considered, but he was just hoping against hope that he was talking to a real person, and he just chose to continue on out of desperation, I assume. But I convinced him to make a deal with me that until she comes up to visit him, he will not send her another cent. He promised me that 3 weeks ago. And there was a deadline because 3 weeks ago, after her bus had to stop because some guy died of quarantine or whatever the fuck, she was scheduled to end up at his house that very weekend. So that was the deadline. If she does not show up by this weekend, like she's been telling me, no more money for the bitch. Long story short, she showed up, beautiful young lady. They got married, beautiful wedding.
Whoa!
Happy ending, folks. Happy ending. No, she didn't show up.
Oh, did her bus get held up again?
I don't know the excuse this time. She just hasn't shown up. And I've only talked to my neighbor one other time since that weekend. And it was just when he was coming home from work one day and I just happened to be outside. He just looked at me and he's like, "Oh man, my neck hurts so bad from work today. Oh God, my neck hurts so bad." And then he walked inside. And that's the last I heard from him. That was a few days ago.
What if he died?
No, he's not dead. Let's see. His car is still in his driveway right now, so maybe he doesn't have work today, even though it's Friday. I don't know.
He's dead.
No, because I saw his car was out of the driveway yesterday when he went to work. But yeah, she did not show up. I hope he's keeping up his end of the deal and not sending her any more money, because that's really the main issue. Lying to an old man, it's gonna happen, but money, you can't get that back. So. Yeah, it's not getting any better for him, but hopefully he is no longer wasting his hard-earned money on a scammer.
But chances are he probably is.
I talked to him about it, and he seemed like he was on board. I feel like we ended up on the same wavelength about it. So next time I talk to him, because my strategy was, okay, I need to like hang out with him for a little bit and then bring it up, so it's not, like, oh, hey, I need to tell you this right now. So I got a bunch of weeds in my yard. He has a weed whacker. I was like, hey, can you show me how to use your weed whacker? And he's always excited to show off all the tools in his garage and all this shit. So we weed whacked together for like 20 minutes, and then that's when I bring it up to him. And yeah, that's all the updates I really have. He also told me about some of the other dumb shit that he sent her money for. Evidently, he didn't just buy her one bus ticket to come up. He bought her two so that nobody would have to sit next to her. So,
What a gentleman.
And here's how I know it's a scam. When the bus thing happened and they had to be quarantined, everybody on the bus had to be quarantined for 2 weeks. He told me she said all the passengers on the bus had to pay $1,200 or something to stay in whatever facility they're being quarantined in. I said, there's no fucking way that's true. And he said he did not send her the money for that. So,
well, good.
So thank fucking God. Because how fucking stupid do you think anybody is to believe that? Oh, somebody on my bus, this Greyhound bus, died of corona, and now every single passenger who is riding a Greyhound on purpose, mind you, the cheapest form of cross-country travel, these poor, disgusting, degenerate people who ride a fucking bus all had to pay thousands of dollars to be stuck in a quarantine facility. You're lying. That would be national news. You're fucking lying. And I'm glad he did not pay her for that. How fucking absurd.
Could you imagine if he sent her that money?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Like, oh man, that's... First of all, I would think Greyhound, like if something actually happened like that, I feel like Greyhound has insurance that would somewhat cover that.
There's no scenario in the world where you're forced to stay somewhere against your will and also have to pay them for the ability to be there. You don't, like, people in prison don't have to pay rent. That makes no fucking sense.
I'm just trying to think of a scenario where, like, even something remotely close. Yeah, you would never have to pay yourself.
No, obviously. I would just leave. If I don't pay, then they'll kick me out. Win-win. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? How are you gonna make me pay this? I'll leave.
That's like scumbag, super scumbag levels.
Yeah, insanity. Yeah, so I think one day we should get him on this show, but neither one of us would get a word in edgewise. He will talk nonstop for 3 hours. Yeah. It'll be a great show, but we won't say a word.
I've actually gotten quite a few snaps of people asking if he could get on the show, and I said, I don't know if he would be up for it. I mean, we could always ask, but I doubt it. Do you think you would actually want to be on the show?
Yeah, probably. What else is he doing?
I mean, I guess
he wants to make videos with me. He keeps saying we should make drone videos together because he has a drone. So I don't see why he wouldn't want to, do a talk show.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. And I guess if you tell him, hey, you don't have to just talk to me. You could talk to thousands of people that want to hear what you have to say.
And the meme, okay, boomer? Well, he's 60 or whatever. Like, he's actually a boomer, like, generationally. So the episode could be called, Are You Okay, Boomer? Like a question. We want to know if he's okay. We care about this boomer.
We should show him a bunch of boomer memes on the show.
We should
listen to, like, have him rate them or whatever.
Well, I mean, he already told me about how he hates the women of his generation. So if we want to, we talk about how much we hate women our age. I would love to hear a boomer, boomer incel talk shit about boomer women. That would be equally hilarious, if not more so. I think I would really enjoy that.
We could cash in on the Fine Bros idea and do like a boomer react series.
Make him listen to the podcast where we talk about him and have him react to that. Like, wait, you said this in front of how many people? Oops. I don't think he would give a shit. It's not like we doxed him. But yeah, that's my big incel neighbor update. So, you got anything else exciting happen in the last 3 weeks?
In the last 3 weeks? Not particularly. I've done a whole lot of nothing. I guess I started playing Skyrim again, if that's newsworthy.
What happened to Pirates R Us on Steam?
Oh, I'm still kind of playing that. So here's what happens. My brother will get me onto a game, and he'll say, come on, you should play this. And I'll play it. And I'll get hooked on it.
Oh, fun fact. Your brother has the same first name as my neighbor.
Nice.
Yeah. I realized that the other day.
But, so yeah, I'll get on a game with him that he'll beg me to get on. I'll get hooked on it, and within a week, he switches games. So it's like,
he's playing the Switch that I let you borrow? I don't want his greasy hands on my Switch games. Go on.
So yeah, anything else? I mean, I'm still going to school. I just started, what was it, like quantitative analysis?
Analyzing numbers?
It's interesting. I mean, I'm flying through a good portion of it, and then there's like a small portion. I don't even know what kind of math you would call it, but it's like throwing me for a loop. And I even emailed my professor because the answer they had on their program was wrong.
Oh.
And I had to show her how it was wrong, and she refused to believe me. And I literally pulled up like a graphing calculator, put in the equations, and showed her that the answer they have is incorrect. On a calculator.
And she still wouldn't buy it?
Well, she's like, oh, well, it's probably just the way that they put in the digits or blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
in my experience, math problems are a matter of opinion usually. So
yeah, and
the answers are you can go one way or the other.
Yeah, and I literally had it I wrote it out and I got the answer. I'm like, okay, I put it in, incorrect. What? I look at the answer. I'm like, that is not right. So I pull up a calculator, I put it in there, it gives me the answer I got. And I gave it to her and we argued it out, and I was like, I guess I'm just going to have to do it how they do it, otherwise I'm going to get an F in this class.
Flashback to that moment, and Biggs is like, the answer is 17, I don't get it. And it's like, no, the answer is the absolute value of negative 17. And Biggs is like, no, it's 17! Get it? Do you know what absolute value is?
Yeah.
That's some old shit. What is the point of absolute value? Well, the real value of negative 30 is just 30. No, it's not. No, I think it's negative.
Well, no, the absolute value is just how many spaces away from zero.
Well, stupid.
So technically,
it's negative 30 spaces away.
Technically, it is 30 spaces away. So,
but what was that even used for?
Nothing that I know of.
Any math magicians out there? Yes, I said math magician. If you can tell us in math theory, what is the point of absolute value? That's
don't worry, we're
straw poll.
We're not racist, so any dark math magicians too.
With negative 2,500 attack points, absolute value.
That's the privilege you're talking about. Oh man, it finally shows.
All right, speaking of politics, Biggs, I thought we should, open up a bit of a political discussion. And we're not shy about doing those on this show. We had a whole episode about whether or not people should have to pass a test in order to have children. Great episode if you haven't heard that one already.
But I thought we decided that wasn't political because I was just saying that I get to choose, not politicians.
Well, I think even like a monarch or a dictator is still part of the political process. He's just from the top.
My PlayStation name is Tater Salad.
Yeah, Dictator Salad, that's right.
Yep, there we go.
So Biggs, and we also recently learned on the show that Biggs is a sociopath. That is undeniable, and every single person in the audience agrees. So why I would like to discuss politics on the show is because whatever opinion Biggs holds on any given issue, we all can infer that that's the same opinion the sociopath community also has.
The funny thing is, when we did the video podcast, somebody had pointed out, you were telling me like this really awful thing that the girl did to your neighbor, and they clipped it, and I'm smirking.
You're like laughing at it?
I'm like smirking at it, and they're like, this is hard evidence right here.
Well, it is. So let's get the sociopath take. Biggs, everybody, the big political stance everybody's taking online is mask or no mask. How do you plead in public? You've been masking up? You've been going full Spider-Man out there?
So my thing on the mask is wear it if you feel like you need to. If not, don't force others to do what you're doing.
Sociopath.
What
folks.
does it matter? If you're wearing a mask, for one, then you're protected. Why do you care if Joe Blow at Walmart, who's buying a pack of Bud Light, isn't wearing a mask?
I think the idea is that you wear the mask to prevent yourself from infecting others. So they're being selfish by not protecting you. The idea is that if two people are wearing a mask, the transmission rate is like, 1%.
Yeah,
but if one person is and the other isn't, the one who isn't is going to give it to the one wearing the mask. So it only works if both people are wearing the mask.
So how's it going to give the coronavirus to them if they're wearing a mask? Then they're not going to inhale whatever that they say is technically not even airborne, I guess.
Well, the idea is if the virus is spread through like your spit. So when you cough or you sneeze, it comes out. If you're wearing a mask, that's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to infect anybody.
Okay, well, still at the basis, like nobody. Okay, whether you say they should or they shouldn't, they're not going to anyway. So why waste your time complaining about it, specifically online? Nobody cares about your opinion if they're not going to wear the mask in the first place. So just go on living your life, okay? And if you're that worried about it, order your food online to be delivered home. You know how much it costs? $10 from Hy-Vee to get your stuff delivered to your house.
Oh shit, are they doing that now?
They've always done it.
Will Hy-Vee deliver their Chinese food to my house?
I'm not sure about that.
Because I would totally do that. There's no good delivery.
Literally, you can buy all of your groceries online and get them delivered to your house for like $10.
Not bad.
That's it. If you're that scared of this virus, don't leave your house.
Well, I mean, to talk about my perspective a bit, I usually don't leave the house regardless of pandemic or not. So basically, the only place I go other than the grocery store is to BioLife to donate plasma. And they have a requirement everybody has to wear a mask anyway. So I've really had no choice. The only place I go, masks are required. But I also, after wearing it so many times there, I've gotten so used to it that I think it has actually boosted my confidence and happiness level while in public so much because now nobody can see my hideous face, Biggs. Even when Corona is over, I don't think I'm ever going to go back. I think I'm going to be full-on fucking Winter Soldier mask because I got this black mask that just, it's like cloth, covers basically everything except for my eyes and my hair. I think I might wear this for the rest of my life. Nobody in public can see how ugly I am anymore. If I laugh or smile, nobody can see my janky fucking yellow ass teeth. Nobody can see my acne when I've been breaking out. except for on my fucking forehead because of my greasy ass long hair, but now I'm wearing my Andrew Yang math hat to cover up my forehead. Nobody can see any part of my head except for my eyes. I feel like a Muslim woman living over in Afghanistan, and it's beautiful. I've never been so proud to be myself because nobody knows who I am.
Is Monkey saying that we need Sharia law here in the U.S.?
Sharia carry law? I think you meant Sharia.
Whatever it is.
No, because I'm more on the libertarian side like you of I like people having a choice. I just also, if I see people not wearing a mask, I mean, it's okay to judge them, I think. Like, fuck it, who cares? I'm not going to force them. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, but
in my head, I'm like, that guy's a fucking retard.
Most of the people that are, like, yelling and crying about it are trying to force others to do it.
Yeah.
They're actively trying. And it's like, it's never going to happen. For one, when you come out screaming at someone in the middle of Walmart, chances are they're not going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
And two,
those people aren't doing anybody any favors.
Another thing, I think it differs from location to location. Like, say we lived in Florida where they're, like you said, getting like 100K cases a day.
Yeah. Yeah,
I would say if you're not wearing a mask, you're an idiot. Here in Iowa, where the numbers have basically stagnated.
And the population density is like 0.1.
Yeah, and I don't think we've had any deaths for like a week. Like, if somebody's not wearing a mask, yeah, you could sit there and say, hey, that guy's an idiot. But I mean, it's not doing you any harm. Just walk away.
Yeah, I've just been keeping much more than 6 feet of distance between me and anybody not wearing a mask. So,
well, I mean, any distance that you are from people now is way closer than ever before because you would never leave the house.
Yeah.
It seems like you go out more now than you did before.
No, I only go to BioLife and to buy groceries, and that's it. Where else is there to go? That's my question. Even before this, the only other place I would go is the movie theater, and that's been closed.
Yeah, so a funny side story, I think it was yesterday, I got a message from Monkey.
Oh, yeah?
And we have this ongoing joke between each other where, you know, he'll like flirt with females and then get kicked out of a place.
Yeah.
Or get shunned. He says, hey, Biggs, there's a Five Below. You better come check it out before I get blacklisted or something. So
I will say, they did build a Five Below in my city recently. I think they just had the grand opening a few days ago. And they do. They must have, you know, all the college kids in town must be hankering for some spankering jobs because they got some mighty cute girls working at Five Below, Biggs. I think you might want to go, you know.
So I took the advantage.
If she's a 5 or below out of 10.
I took the advantage of getting in there with Monkey before he shunned. And yeah, I think we ended up walking out empty-handed. Like, we both realized while we were in there, oh yeah, we kind of checked this out at Mall of America. It's not as interesting as we thought.
I bought $20 worth of candy in there yesterday. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to stock up.
I guess out of the whole store, the candy's probably the best bet because it's
absolutely
all way cheap.
If I get desperate, I might buy some of their $5 like cat toys and shit, but my cats are spoiled as fuck as it is. They don't need anything else right now.
Yeah, so unless you're looking for some like jazz-based headphones that are $10, that'll probably last you 2 days.
They have AirPods, like the wireless, put it in your ear headphones for $5.95. Somebody needs to do a test comparing these $5.95 AirPods to how much are the Apple ones? $80?
No, they're like $200 or $300.
I want some fucking audio magician out there to do a test, because how much better could the AirPods be? That I would rather buy 100 pairs of the cheap shit at the same price as the one good one. If they keep breaking after a week, fuck it, I'll just open up the next box. It's $5.95.
See, I'm not in that boat.
You're an audiophile, aren't you?
I will never buy Apple in my life.
Oh, okay.
But when it comes to like headphones and stuff like that, I do not cheap out. Like the headphones I use at home are like professional studio quality monitor headphones.
How much were those?
Those were pretty cheap for headphones, but it doesn't have like a mic, so it's not like a gaming headset. That's why I have a separate mic. But those, I got them on sale for like $198. So I think
are they wireless?
No.
Oh.
I think normal price is like $250 or something like that.
My question is, how does the wireless technology work? I imagine it's all Bluetooth. Why can they make $5.95 earbuds wireless, but your $200 headset that like wouldn't it be just as easy to make that wireless too?
So-
Why would it cost anything?
So the thing with wireless is when you go wireless, you're going to lose quality almost no matter what.
Why?
Because you don't have that direct line taking all of that audio information to the headphones. You have to send it through Bluetooth, and chances are you're going to lose some of that information, so it's not going to come out as clear as it would if it's wired.
I do a lot of music and podcast listening with my Alexa, like when I'm in the shower, and I've never noticed a quality dip at all, but maybe there is. I don't know. I've never used fancy good headphones before.
So like with my headphones, when you put them on, anything that you listen to, you're hearing exactly how it came out of the studio. So
if somebody's listening to this podcast, they'll be disgusted. They can hear all our little groans, and
Yes.
every time I take a sip of water.
Well, you've used them before. Remember when we bought the new the new mic for the camera?
Oh yeah, it made me think that my mic sounded like shit because it was too good of quality.
It was like you could hear like the little knocking in the fridge. You could hear.
I could hear my neighbor
throat
jerking
clear.
off.
Oh.
Yeah, sad masturbation time.
So yeah, I mean, it depends on who you're talking about, I guess. If it's somebody like you who doesn't really care, you just want something that you literally put it on and it works, then sure, go out and buy some $5.95.
Isn't the thing with the speakers of any kind that as the price gets higher and higher, the quality only improves by like fractions of a percent?
It's like incremental. Yeah.
So I guess you got to like find the happy medium around $300.
It's kind of like I can't remember what kind of graph it's called, but it's
Exponential.
Well, it's like as the price gets higher, it gets better. But once it gets too high, it kind of like
Flattens the
plateaus,
curve.
and then even starts to go down a little bit.
The most expensive is lower quality than something cheaper?
Yes.
Why? Why would anybody pay
My
for that
headphones are. So they're what, $200 some. I haven't checked. They are older now, so maybe if you buy them brand new, they're maybe only like $200. If you went out and bought this like the same headphone, like what am I trying to say, like production year headphones with like Beats by Dre, those things are nowhere near as
What about
good.
Raycons though?
I don't even know what that is.
Is that the name of the Ray J? Is that the name of a guy?
Maybe.
I don't know. Rusty Cage got sponsored by them. It's like a new headset, new earbuds.
I've never heard of
Raycon
them.
or something. I don't know. They haven't offered me any
So
money.
it's like you either buy these $198 studio quality monitor headphones that are amazing to plug into your phone and listen to music, or you can spend $300+ on these garbage headphones that just have a sticker with someone's emblem on it. Like,
It's like when
at
you're
some
when you're buying
extent-
something at Gap, you're spending extra because it says gay and proud on it. You need that logo on there to prove how gay and proud you are.
well, yeah, you gotta support the LGBTQRSTZIQ.
Yeah, that's why I shop at Gap
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
That's the best example of somebody paying extra for a logo. Gap, not Supreme, not some meme.
Oh man, what's that brand? It's like Balenciaga or something. They sell like the most ridiculous stuff, and it's so expensive, and people buy it. Like they got shoes. I know you guys can't see, but I'm showing him. Like they have shoes with soles that are like this thick, like
8 inches long.
The rubber on the bottom is that thick. Why?
I mean, even Mark Zuckerberg spends $12,000 for one gray T-shirt, so somebody's always gonna buy stupid shit. But Biggs, if we're done talking about headsets, I got something really exciting for you. I've been keeping this inside for weeks, and I'm really
You
excited.
should probably go use the bathroom.
Nope, I'm constipated with excitement
Uh-oh.
because while I was sick for 10 days, Biggs, I binged the entire series of Bojack Horseman.
Oh boy!
Per your recommendation, I said, fuck it, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to watch it from the beginning, all in, one epic binge while I'm sick on the couch. And now we're both caught up and we can give our Bojack review.
We're both cultured.
Yeah, well, what did you think of not just the final season, but Bojack Horseman as a series?
I think it had a really slow start for me. I know a lot of people said they liked the first episodes, but when I first watched it, I don't even know how long ago it was. Like, I gave it a try. I got like 3 or 4 episodes in and I stopped. And it was okay. You know, they had some laughs and like whatever. And then I stopped watching it. I just thought it kind of fell short for me. But then somebody kept saying, hey, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. It gets better. It gets better, blah, blah, blah.
By better, it gets worse, because the worse things that happen, the better the show is.
Yeah. So it's like, after you get through those first episodes, you start to actually like connect with the characters. You understand like who they are and like what's going on in the show. It really takes off. And for me, a lot of people said the last season was really weak.
What?
I thought it was great.
Oh.
I thought the last season was amazing.
Yeah. And I'm glad that it was, like 16 episodes? They even gave us some extra ones.
So for me, I found the show to be really good, and I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, if we're going to break down some characters, I'm just going to spitfire some questions at you, Biggs. Who's a better character? Who's the better Aaron Paul character? Jesse Pinkman or Todd Sanchez? Chavez? What's his last name? Chavez. Who do you like better? Who would you rather hang out with, Todd or Jesse?
I would rather hang out with Todd.
Yeah.
Dude, I kept telling you, Todd is such a great character. And like, the more you watch the show and just seeing him go through what he goes through is just hilarious. Because he almost everything he just rolls with. Like, a few things got to him.
He has the
here and
attitude
there, but
that all of us depressed boys wish we could have.
yeah. And like, he does have a character arc, but he doesn't at the same time because he doesn't really change. But I don't know.
He becomes more accepting of himself.
Yeah, it's like he already is who he is. He just becomes more of himself, I guess.
He embraces who he is to the highest degree.
Yeah. So, I would call that character development. I think it was really good too. I think it was better than
Diane. Her character is that she gets fat.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the show ends with Diane still fat. That's what she fucking deserves. I can't stand Diane most of the time.
Yeah, Diane's character is
I'm glad Allison Brie or whatever apologized for voicing a half Vietnamese character. Good.
Yeah, her character was something else. It was definitely not among the better of the characters.
I'm sure if we were a woman who was dating a guy 10 years older than us, we would maybe relate to her. But there's not much. I mean, sure, me and Diane have both written a book, so I guess I relate to her because we both wrote a book. Wow, good job. No, but I don't think young men in our position are equipped to relate to most of Diane's problems. But most people would be like, oh man, the show goes too deep into the feminism themes and blah blah blah. But I feel like they had a pretty nuanced take on most issues, pretty fair take on a lot of that Hollywood liberal bullshit.
I don't feel like I really had like a bad taste left in my mouth after watching any of the episodes. Like, they got into some stuff that I wouldn't necessarily agree with, but they didn't do it in a way that made me think like, oh man, the show is going off the rails with this crap or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they did an alright job.
I think they have humor, kind of like supporting ideas and also shitting on it. Like Bojack will come in with like a little quip about how something might be a bit hypocritical. So I feel like the writers were really in tune with both what's funny and what's relevant.
Yeah, and they kind of did what South Park does, where they kind of crap on everyone's parade. Like,
they have like a whole arc about Bill Cosby and how Diane's trying to take down the Bill Cosby of the animal world, and I thought that was really funny too.
Yeah. So so what do you think of the ending?
I'll tell you, this show is famous for its episode 11s, which I now have to rename the penultimate episode, since the last season was 16 episodes and it was in episode 15. But they're episode 11s of each season. You're watching, the show's good, but you're just waiting for episode 11, because every season that's when shit hits the fan. That's when Bojack goes off the rails. Things get psychedelic sometimes. He goes on a drug binge. He tries to fuck a child. So many different horrible things happen in these episode 11s. And I was thinking, how How can they possibly do an episode 11 as the second to last episode of the show? How, like, I imagine the show is going to have a happy ending. How can Bojack hit his lowest point ever in the second to last episode? How could they possibly make him hit his rock bottom and then redeem it in 25 minutes in the finale? There's no fucking way. And yet, I watch episode 15, and it's the best episode 11 of them all, in my opinion. The episode where spoilers, obviously, but Bojack is like literally on the brink of death, and he can't wake up, and he's in this dream world with all of the characters who are dead from his life. I mean, the episode had me fucking crying my eyes out by the end.
It's good.
When the black void is like coming to eat him up, and he just wants to talk to Diane on the phone. Oh my god!
And then you realize, or then she's like, "I didn't answer it." And he's just like. One of the things I thought was great was so going back to when he went on the bender with Sarah Lynn and she ultimately died.
Do you think that's the worst thing he ever did? I think the worst thing he ever did is when he waited 18 minutes to call the ambulance. So that was a big twist.
It's actually about that. If you notice, in episode 15, exactly like the time, it was like 18 minutes and so, I think it was like 2 seconds that he waited to call the ambulance. 18 minutes and that amount of seconds passed in the show.
Is when she dies?
No, it shows him dead in the pool or dying in the pool.
Should have been when Sarah Lynn went into the black void, but good enough.
Yeah. And then, when, what was it? The Secretariat was giving the poem of the...
Oh, the view from halfway down. That poem made me cry too, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was...
Oh my... Yeah, because... if you jump off a bridge to kill yourself, the view from halfway down is when you realize, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and I'm about to die. Like 1 second of pure terror before your death. Oh my god. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know what people were thinking when they decided that the last season was not good. Like, obviously they didn't understand what the show really was or something. Because
did they expect him to kill himself at the end, and they were disappointed that he lived?
I'm guessing they thought it was just all a witty humor show and that the ending would be funny.
Did they see the Sarah Lynn death episode? There's nothing. Did they see the... I guess it's not statutory rape because the girl was consenting and age of consent, but still, I mean, kind of fucked up.
But, I had my brother watch it too. I sat and binged it with him, and he'd only seen like the first 2 seasons, I think. And once he got to the end, he's like, this is not at all what I thought the show was going to go into. And I was like, what'd you think it was? He's like, oh, I just thought it was another comedy show like American Dad or something. Like, are you serious? Even from the first 2 seasons, you got to tell that it's not a show like that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to dive real deep into some fucked up, dark themes that lots of other media wouldn't touch with a 10-foot dick.
Yeah.
I guess if they are disappointed by the ending, the question is, how do you even end a show like this? Because for a lot of people, Bojack is unredeemable, and I don't feel as though he even is redeemed at the end of the show, and I think that's okay. I think that might almost just be the point, is that, the shit happens, you hurt people, bad stuff happens, but you got to keep living, and you got to keep trying to be a better person, no matter what. So yeah, he doesn't get redeemed. He doesn't have a happy ending.
He just has to... At
the end of the finale, he still has to go back to prison. Like he's, it's not a happy ending at all, but I think he's accepted, like Todd and pretty much all the characters. It's a journey of self-acceptance and trying to become a better version of yourself.
Yeah, and see, I think the whole show, he accepted who he was, but he never, got to the point where he, forgave himself for what he did. And I think at the end, he finally had forgiven himself so that he can move on. Because if he never would have gotten to that point, it would have just been a downward spiral for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. They say you can't love another person until you love yourself. And I guess Bojack's almost a pristine example of that.
Yeah. And I think even the last scene of
when it's him and Diane on a roof for a full minute saying nothing, and I'm like, wait, what's gonna happen? Anything? And then the credits start playing.
I think that was the perfect ending for it.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, I'm glad he finished it, dude. definitely a good show.
Yeah, I am very glad that I binged it from the beginning in almost one sitting, one sick week of watching one season a day.
I wish I was in a bit of a better headspace when I binged the rest of it, but I still think it was worth it.
It definitely put me in a worse headspace watching it. That show is a drain on any happiness you might have in your brain.
Yeah, but
even the ending, like, it's not a bummer ending, but it wasn't super happy.
Yeah, it's kind of an ending where you're like, wow.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, well, that's it.
All right, Biggs, here's the big question for Bojack. We've talked about the serious shit, but my question is, what is your favorite running gag from the show? And there are so many to choose from. Mr. Peanut Butter fucks up the signs and they add on the extra words every time. Mr. Peanut Butter, we could talk about him for a full podcast. I love that character. He's A tier, if not S tier for me. I love all of his catchphrases and shit.
I think it was probably one of the most simple...
Doggy, what now?
But the funniest one to me. I don't know. It was really dumb, but I found myself just laughing when it happened. But throughout the whole show, he's just constantly, like, season to season, just talking crap about honeydew. Why would you put that in a fruit bowl? Blah, blah, blah. And, like...
In the final episode when he eats it?
He, like, picks it up. He's like, He takes a bite. Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, he actually likes
it. I just started laughing so hard. I was like, of course.
The final episode also had, it kind of like in the honeydew thing, the final Erica joke is the best one. And because every time they go to a party, Mr. Peanut Butter says, "Oh, Erica, who let you out of the burn ward?" Or, "Erica, you look ravishing tonight." And he walk off. And the very last line, the last time we ever see Mr. Peanut Butter is him saying, "Hey, don't worry, at this party I won't leave your side unless, of course, my friend Erica is there. But what are the chances of..." And then smash cut to Bojack alone at the party. Yeah. And we never see Mr. Peanut Butter again. Yeah. That's his final moment.
Oh. Yeah.
But I don't know if you would count this as a running gag. But more than one character does it, but specifically when Bojack does it is my favorite. And it's such a small thing. I don't know why it makes me laugh every time, but it does. Is whenever somebody is doing something absurd or just horrible, something bad is happening, and a character, specifically Bojack, just responds with, and I like that they include all these long uhs and they animate them. It's so fucking funny because he's speechless to what's happening.
I mean, that's probably what most of us would be doing when something like that happens.
I don't know why, but every had me laughing for some reason.
Yeah. They're really good. They're a good touch.
Yeah. Do you have any other Bojack points you want to hit before next week when we read comments telling us why we're wrong about Diane?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like, oh man, there's so much I could say about Bojack, but
I'll do it right now.
I don't know if there's really any final things to say. I mean, it was.
Well, if you have any just ideas you want to spit at the wall, we're an hour into a podcast, so anybody listening is desperate to hear anything we have to say. So just you can spitball ideas.
What did you think of the episode from the perspective of Princess Carolyn's great granddaughter, and then the revelation at the end that it was just her imagination?
Yeah, I mean the writers clearly have fun with the show, and random episodes will just have a different frame of narration, like the one where the two therapists are talking about their day, and then it just happens to be the stories of Bojack, and they change. Oh no, he's a zebra, and they actually change the characters. Todd, what was Todd? He's they were all something stupid.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Princess Carolyn was a ball of yarn spirit of a woman, or just all this crazy. I think Todd was a giant hand.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so they the episode with in the future with the great granddaughter narrating it. I like all the little creative things that they do to keep the show fresh.
I don't know how exactly they did it, but somehow they made something so minute feel crazy. At the end, she's like, "Oh yeah, sometimes I dream of my great granddaughter to know that everything's gonna be okay or something." And at the end of the episode, you're just like, the end credits rolling, like, damn.
Yeah. It never goes back to the great granddaughters.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it was just in her imagination. Fuck.
Another off the wall episode that I really liked was the one where Bojack was underwater. And it's
Yeah.
like completely silent, just like the sound of underwater gurgling every now and then. At the very end, he realizes he could have talked the whole time. Oh man, that was also like at first I didn't understand what was happening, and then by the end I was like, I like that episode.
Yeah, no, super complicated concept. You can't talk underwater, Biggs. I can see why you were confused. Anyway. I don't have any other Bojack points off the top of my head, but I'm sure we'll get into it with comments next week. So let us know what you guys think of Bojack if you watched it all the way
And
through.
if you haven't, binge it before next week so you can comment.
Well, I mean, we basically just spoiled it, but it's not about the destination, Biggs. It's about the journey, and I think the Bojack journey is one that anybody would be lucky to take for the first time. It's 30 hours of pristine comedy and existential crises. Lots of fun. I'd give Bojack Horseman 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, folks, I think that might be it for this episode of the Monkey and Big Show. If you really want to hear voicemails, we're sorry we haven't done it. We promised a full voicemail episode, but I think, like we said earlier, maybe we'll do a live stream sometime soon, listening to a whole bunch.
We've got a lot to go through.
Definitely, and people keep sending them in even to this day.
Yeah.
I hope you all had a fun 4th of July weekend, and hopefully you all exploded with fireworks that you tried to do indoors since you were too scared of Corona.
And if you're close to the riots, hopefully you don't get too scared thinking they were gunshots.
Some of them probably were, but what are you going to do? All hail the chop that has been destroyed. And for the Monkey and Big Show, I've been Monkey.
And I've been late.
See you guys next time.